Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Bad Balla, and we gonna talk about the run fest at Eden Gardens between KKR and LSG. Uh, it was a fairly close game. Finally, we are at that stage where we are again seeing a few close games after being sort of consistently watching those one-sided games, which is annoying. But what a game! What a game of cricket! I think the crowd at Eden Gardens, not a packed house because of the weekday probably, but still fairly decent crowd would have got the the money would have been worth it. Some solid batting by Mitchell Marsh, Nicholas Pooran. I think Nicholas Pooran is in god form. I don't know how to describe that form. And then some counter attack by Rahane and company as well. So we'll dissect the game. What are your initial thoughts on the game, Suresh?
No, I mean, like you said, I think the big point here is Nicholas Puran's form. I mean, if that guy continues in this form, I am really scared of Nicholas Puran facing anybody facing Nicholas Puran, right? And he seems like he's come on a mission, right? Look, the guy has won all trophies across the globe, right? He's won the ILT20, he's won the CPL. There are not many trophies Nicholas Puran has not won. Obviously, because he's that good a player, right? And the IPL, I think, is one trophy he has not won. And it's something which is there in the back of his mind, right? You know what? I have to win this trophy. It's for my prestige. And obviously, the talent he deserves that. And I think this time he's on a mission, man. I mean, there is something about him that, you know what, whatever happens around me, I'm going to ensure that this team is going to always attack and you always get a 200 score. And then he's just hoping that the bowlers do their job. But I think he's on a mission and ably supported by Markram and Mitchell Marsh. I think Markram is that fulcrum around which both Marsh and Pooran can bat. But yesterday we saw both of them attack in the front itself, right? They got a great start as well. So I think the top order is what is propelling this LSG team. If teams can crack that top order, I think it's will be difficult for this team. But right now they're on hot form, and it will be difficult for any team to face that top order.
Yeah, yeah. So I think before we dissect the game, I think a word on Nicholas Pooran. So we have seen the likes of Kyron Pollard, Andre Russell, these two guys specifically in the IPL creating an impact with the bat, in the final overs at their peak, in the
Yeah.
2015, 2017 kind of those kind of years. But I think Nicholas Pooran is a different beast when it comes to consistency. You know,
Mm.
with Pollard and Russell that there would be an odd game which they will probably win single-handedly for
Yeah.
their side, from an impossible situation, and they have done it multiple times. But their consistency was sort of always a question mark. But when it comes to Pooran, if you specifically look in this particular season, I think it's been really really consistent, and he's been consistently striking at more than 220 to 25 strike rate, which is unbelievable, and which
Mm.
is what's the and probably he's the only reason why LSG is sort of uh, at the fourth or fifth position. Otherwise they would have been
Yeah.
struggling at the bottom of the table because clearly they have got their own set of problems. So we start with their batting. I think the solid opening partnership between
Yeah.
Markram and Mitchell Marsh. 10 overs, around close to 100 runs. When the first wicket fell. Uh, but I think they also realized that this is not a 200 wicket. You got to score more than 220 odd. Although I think Mitchell Marsh mentioned that in the during the break, that initially they thought that's a 180, 190 kind of wicket, but as the ball got older, the hitting was relatively easier. So they again accelerated accordingly, which is a very good thing. But the real game changer happened when Nicholas Pooran sort of joined Mitchell Marsh, and in the
Yeah.
next 5 overs they scored 70 odd runs in those middle overs. So that's where the difference sort of happened. What hitting, man! What hitting! Especially for Pooran, it was unreal to watch it as a fan. And Pant would be happy, man, that he did not have to bat. Considering the kind of form he's in, and spare a thought for the ballers, man. Tough day at work for them.
No, you're right. And see, like we discussed yesterday, right? Like for example, somebody like a Vaibhav Arora, less than 10 and over, right? Really smart bowling. I mean, okay, he got attacked to the cleaners, but he see in these flat pitches, you have to vary your line and length. You have to vary your pace. What is Spencer Johnson doing yesterday? I mean, I think the guy is really talented. He's done it very well in the BBL, but here it's a different beast, man. You don't have that support. You don't have that bounce. You have to vary your pace, and he's just bowling the same line and length, hardly varying the pace. And that's a fault I've seen in him earlier as well, and that completely got exploited by Markram. Like Markram, like we discussed, right? He was out of the three, he was the one slightly out of form. But yesterday, the sort of bowling he got early up front to he's like, okay, this is so easy, right? I mean, the same ball is coming consecutively to me so easily, and I'm going to hit it. And once you get Markram in form, then it's that very dangerous combination they have, Markram and Marsh. and that's just exactly took them to the cleaners. I think other than Vaibhav and to an extent Chakravarti, nobody really managed with the ball yesterday.
Yeah, it was a one-way traffic actually, with respect to the conditions. But I
Yeah,
think ballers need to find a way. Ballers need to figure out a way to sort of put the
yeah,
brakes on. If they're not able to pick the wicket, at least get those dot balls in the middle overs. And I think Chakravarti did that fairly well.
yeah,
But again, batters are also sort of wary of Chakravarti, that they know how to. They don't want to throw away wicket on his bowling, right? So that's the approach which they are typically, looking at. I want to talk about two impact players, which have been impactful for KKR over the last 10 years or so, and definitely those guys have helped them, get those couple of trophies as well in the last decade. Uh, Andre Russell and Sunil Narayan, right? Andre Russell, again, both of them have played the role of all rounder, but in this season we have seen that Russell is not doing that much of bowling.
bowling.
Did bowl a couple of overs because the situation demanded. Otherwise, he has not been bowling that consistently in this season. Narayan as well. I think both of them have lost their mojo, if I can say that. Even with the batting as well, Narayan at top of the order is not really working out. He did give KKR some sort of start yesterday, but still was not good enough. With respect to Russell, I think Russell is a very, very crucial factor in the entire squad. And just like CSK, uh, uh, CSK तो players ही नहीं है उनके पास. But with KKR, the fact that Rinku and Russell are not fighting as finishers, I think is hurting them big time.
Yeah, see, Russell is a curious case, right? I think just the mere presence of Russell in your squad, it sort of gives jitters to the opposition batsmen, the opposition players, right? And I think I think he got Mitchell Marsh yesterday. He got a wicket.
Yep.
I mean, at the crucial time. And Sunil Narayan, yeah, was taken to the cleaners yesterday by Mitchell Marsh, but and Pooran. But I don't know, man. I mean, I think those two, like you said, right? They have won trophies for KKR, and their mere presence right now is adding some sort of a fear factor among the other teams. And maybe again, you really mentioned last time that that they're not as consistent as a Pooran, but they will bring in those special performances when it matters the most. So I guess KKR are hoping that it comes through whenever required for them, but it didn't yesterday, and that is worrying. I have a point in the whole chase, right? The KKR chase. Uh, okay, the fact that I don't know, I mean, we can discuss the whole innings. I just want to bring up one point here. Towards the end, I think Rinku Singh was playing brilliantly. I mean, I thought he gave them some chance when there was no hope at all. But Harshit Rana, I mean, at 10 runs of 10 runs of 9 balls, probably Rinku has to figure out how to rotate that strike. I mean, even the 19th over, the last ball, he hit a four, because of which he lost strike. And then Harshit Rana struggled against Bishnoi. Maybe is that four required at that point in time? If that four didn't come, could you have come on strike and attacked Bishnoi? So I think Rinku has. I mean, obviously he's good as a batsman. He has confidence in himself, but probably a little bit of match awareness. Who's batting with you, and probably try getting most of the strike. That's as important as how you hit the ball yourself.
I think fair point, Sulesh. I think that penalty made over really hurt them big time, KKR.
Yeah.
You know, Renku refused single two or three times, so those were technically dot balls. And I think there was a
Mm.
situation where on the penalty made ball of the over, they had a chance to take a single, and Rinki
Um,
refused that single. And I was like,
single.
what the
Yeah.
hell, dude? Because uh, I think they should have taken that single, and that's where
Single.
he has to grow as a cricketer.
Yeah.
He has got the
Yeah.
shots in the book, but again, the mental part of it, how to rotate the strike, when to do what, which bowler to attack, and all those things will come as you become more experienced. Someone like a Pant is still learning. I don't know. Shayad puri zindagi. I think that's a natural thing, right? If you watch Kohli,
Yeah.
if you watch MS Dhoni, these two guys come top of my mind, where they exactly know how to, when they're, especially when they're chasing,
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
take that chase forward, and who to attack, when to take that single, when to hit a boundary. I think that's something which probably Rinku has to learn. So now because of that single refusal,
Yeah. I mean, I think
yeah,
she will come back in
because of
some
that
time. Yeah.
single refusal, what happened was that this guy was forced to sort of hit a boundary on the last ball, and then again, like you mentioned, they wasted a couple of balls from Bishnoi, the Harshit Rana, and I really don't want to blame Harshit Rana for that, because
Yeah.
uh,
It's not his fault. Yeah.
not his yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, and one last point before I think there's nothing much to discuss in the KKR batting line. They tried their best, right? Rahane, Venkatesh Iyer, Sunil Narayan, they all tried their best. And another trick, I think another trick they missed is the batting order, right? Ramandeep
Yep.
suddenly coming in. Angrish coming down, and then and post that you have Russell, and it is 15th over. I think when they lost Rahane or Venkatesh Iyer at that time, they could have probably gotten Russell. I think that is the only miss, and it's a very close match, right? The small things make a difference, right?
I think one point which I wanted to mention is the role of Venkatesh Iyer. He's a fabulous player, but if you are chasing a 240 target, he's not someone who would be. I would prefer to have Rinku and Russell both ahead of
Yeah,
Venkatesh Iyer, especially if you are into final 5 or 6 overs, because that gives KKR more chance than Iyer facing most of the deliveries. First of all, Rahane was absolutely brilliant yesterday. I think he's
yeah,
leading from the kind of knock he played yesterday was, I mean, watching him is almost closing on to 38, 39, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And the kind of impact he created yesterday, I think he almost got Kolkata into the game, right? And he
yeah,
played a long inning. But again, in the final 5 overs, I think Venkatesh Iyer was not able to strike he was not able to maintain that required run rate, right? So ठीक है 160 170 strike rate under those circumstances was not good enough, is my limited point. So probably they could have sent Rinku and Russell ahead of Venkatesh Iyer over
yeah,
there, even
yeah.
Raghuvanshi.
And Ramandeep suddenly coming in as well. That was a bit surprising. Yeah, when you have Russell and Rinku in your squad, right? Difficult to understand. Yeah, we'll quickly discuss the GT-RR match. What do you think? I think both teams are coming off hot form. RR winning the last match. Sanju as captain, back as captain. I think it'll be a close match. GT obviously in red hot form. It'll be a close match. Is what I feel today. Looking forward to that match.
Yep. Looking forward to it. I think GT again. Both the teams are informed. The batting is
Yeah.
suddenly the top batting is creating an impact, and like you mentioned, with Sanju back as the captain, I think it creates a lot of difference for RR. And for the overall balance, for the decisions, for the he captains pretty much like MS. That he
Mm.
assesses the situation, and he doesn't come with a set template to sort of when he's keeping. So he has got a good vision. He's got a good approach to the game, and really looking forward to it. For today.
Yeah. And let's catch up tomorrow to discuss that match. Yeah. See you
Yep,
guys.
yeah, sure. Thank you so
Bye.
much, guys. Bye.
Bye.